For me, it's been an amazing journey over the last 10 years. Some incredible memories with some incredible people, a lot of success within that time. For me, the negotiation was obviously very similar to what it had been in the last couple of cycles. I really wanted it to be a multi-campaign situation for me, like I had been for the last 3 cycles with Sail GP more recently, and then previous to that with the Olympics. And Team New Zealand saw it a little bit differently, where they kind of wanted a bit more of a control than they have in the past, and especially with my specific role within that. So yeah, it was something I personally definitely felt like it could work, and that I'd proven for it to work in the past, and that it had been a massive benefit to the performance of the Cup team in the past. But yeah, it wasn't to be this time.
So was that essentially they didn't want you as involved in Sail GP, or do they want you more involved in Team New Zealand? Yeah,
it was just a subtle difference in terms of the amount of uncertainty between how the two were going to operate compared to what they'd given me in the past. And yeah, I think when you look at the black foils and Sail GP and how exciting that proposition is, I really wanted to continue my position within that team. For me, to be able to compete for New Zealand on the home stage as well as the international stages, really motivating and exciting.
What was the conversation like between yourself and Grant Dalton, where he basically said we need to move on? At least that's the understanding I had from what they basically said to you.
Yeah, well, I get along really well with Daltz. Obviously, it's been a really successful relationship for the last 10 years. So, we have pretty good, open, frank conversations. When you looked at previous campaigns, there's a lot of back and forth as to actually how to set the thing up for success in the first instance. I thought there was probably going to be a few more rounds of conversation than there were, but definitely the offer that, as it stood at that time, wasn't something that really worked for me. And then they decided they weren't going to shift their position, so that was pretty much where things ended. But it's a part of life, it's part of sport, and you've got to be happy with the decisions you make. I mean, the phones definitely started ringing as soon as the news broke that I was no longer going to be part of Team New Zealand. Like I said at the beginning, I definitely went into this with that goal of trying to be part of Team New Zealand in a structure that really worked for me into the next cycle. But the sailing community is incredibly small, so everyone knows everyone incredibly well, and everyone's kind of feeling it out. So never say never. It'll definitely be interesting to see when the protocol comes out and the rules and the venue and just how everything can tie together. But definitely opened opportunities. I
guess it closes the book sort of on a decade of your career with this team. 3 America's Cups, 3 America's Cups won. I think you won the most races of a helmsman in America's Cup match race history. Like a lot of achievements there. How do you reflect on the last decade?
Yeah, well, I think that's been the probably super special part of the last whatever it's been month, is just kind of actually being able to reflect back on how the journey has gone and how it's unfolded, and some special memories right across the board, both through the highs and also the lows. If you look back at the first America's Cup Challenge, there were definitely some pretty big lows along the way, but then for it to kind of all come together as a reasonably small team at that stage, very underdog, and then put together the performance we managed to do was incredibly special. To back that up with a win at home, albeit during COVID times, but to race at home like that's incredibly special to see how many Kiwis are into yachting and really love getting behind the sport. And then obviously the most recent one in Barcelona to I suppose get the third one in a row against some pretty formidable challenges was really special.
How has your focus changed, I guess, over the last decade from mid-20s coming into the America's Cup to now where you've got, you know, had America's Cup, Sail GP, Live Ocean, you've got a family. Like, how is your focus these days?
Well, my motivation's incredibly high. I still absolutely love the sport. Obviously, life's a little bit busier than it was when you were kind of probably first started out. But I've always really enjoyed being busy and doing a lot of things at once. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason why I've had so much success within my career. Really being able to take the learnings from different facets of the sport or facets of life and bring them back in and apply them in a really positive way. But yeah, it's been incredible. The last part to kind of grow a family, and Lucy and our daughter have been absolutely amazing along this journey. It's been so cool to have that part of my life now, which obviously means that your time's even more important to you, to be able to really enjoy that part of your life, which is really cool and something that we weigh into considerations. Live Ocean, definitely when I started that journey, I didn't think I'd be put as much time into it as I have, but it's just something that's, I believe, is incredibly important. When you look at New Zealand, we've got such a beautiful ocean space. We've got so much. 94% of New Zealand by area is ocean. You're at the 4th largest in the world. We're at the bottom of the earth, and we've got so much kind of natural beauty around us and natural biodiversity. But it's something we're really need to look after. It's changing fast.
If you look back on, the last decade, is there a single moment, a single race win, anything like that really stands out from your time in the America's Cup?
Having to think back a bit here. I think one of the, in Bermuda, one of the really cool moments was actually our first race loss. We kind of got through the first weekend, obviously, 4 on the trot, and then kind of come into the second weekend. I think we won a couple, and then we finally managed to lose a race. And just seeing the kind of nerves and all the tension of that kind of start to creep back in, but then obviously bouncing straight back out of that into another win was something pretty cool looking back at it.
Team New Zealand, and I guess yourself, said parted on pretty amicable terms. Like, you're not a little bit disappointed?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I feel like we could have got to a solution, but it wasn't to be, and I'm definitely still on really good terms with everyone there. I've obviously really enjoyed my time and the opportunities and the way I've grown as part of Team New Zealand. But looking forward to kind of now continuing my journey, and continuing to grow the black foils, continuing to put ocean health on the agenda on the New Zealand stage, with Live Ocean, and really drive some positive change there, and then also continue to try and grow myself as a person, and spend more time with family, and just looking forward to the next period, and what opportunities come up, and where life ends up taking me.
Keep up to date with the latest New Zealand Herald news by hitting the subscribe button below, or head over to nzherald.co.nz.